This is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Annie Chang, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
All right, some of you hacks are in for it this time.
Wow.
What? It's a joke. Satire and parody, Lilith Hellfire. All right, kids, you know what time that is. This is. She's a little bit salty.
He's a whole lot of petty, and together we are the Salty and Petty Podcast.
The Salty and Petty. That's right. I am Phil, and she who lives to tell men their faults. It is.
Yes, I do. It is Lilith Hellfire.
That's right. So this time, like we said, we're going to be talking some of our, in our opinion, the worst comics of all time.
Yes, definitely in our opinion. Although I think the internet would probably agree.
For the most part, yeah.
At least my list for sure.
Some of these, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, but you know.
Oh yeah. Nothing left to do but to do it, Phil. Got 15. What do you got? I was gonna go for 13, but then I saw 2 more, and I'm like, no, this needs.
I threw. Like I said, I threw a few on before we jumped on, so I'm at 15.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so I'd say ladies first, but since there's none here, Lilith Hellfire, would you like to go first?
Can't even argue with you on that one. Yeah, I'll start my number 15 with X-Men. The Draco by Chuck Austin. It's Uncanny X-Men 428 through 434. And of course, this is where Nightcrawler discovers his father,
Yes.
And they get caught in his stupid plan for so many issues. Oh my god.
Yep.
I like Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is one of my favorite X-Men characters, especially one of my favorite blue X-Men characters.
Well,
there's a lot of blue X-Men characters.
Hey, well, yeah, I know.
But yeah, no, Nightcrawler's so sympathetic, and I love his backstory up until this point. You know, it's just like, oh, your dad's Azazel. I'm so sorry.
I mean, one that was Chuck Austin, right? But
yeah, Chuck Austin, absolutely.
But I was like 2. I'm like, did they do that because they didn't have the balls? Then I see somewhere it's like, you know, if we're being honest, it's like Nightcrawler's real parents are Destiny and Mystique.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, because they wouldn't go there.
Yeah, which eventually they kind of do, but just not at that time.
Yes, I mean,
yeah, it was just very unfortunate.
Yes,
but I mean, I guess it kind of made sense with this power. Like, I get it, but it's a terrible story. Like, first of all, it's Azazel. Like, never bring up Azazel. And second of all, did we need all those issues? I don't think we did.
Yeah, I know.
3 at most would have been fine, but they just kept dragging it. Really, just.
It was the 2000s, man. They like to drag it out. Maybe Chuck Austin hoped it would get collected or something.
It did. The Draco. I mean, it doesn't sell very well, but it's collected.
Because Will and I have said it before. I think like by the early 2000s, they'd gotten the idea for the collection market. You know, because they started collecting everything.
Yeah.
Which you could tell from.
It's kind of the downfall of the writing for the trades. And
well, yeah, because it's like
everything collected, like. Especially now with, like, the app and stuff, like, you don't really need that. Unless it's, like, a big omnibus like Jack Kirby, Stanley. You know what I mean? You just don't need it anymore.
Well, yeah, because I think, you know, instead of naturally, maybe your story could have worked in 2, 3, 4 issues, but they're like, no, take it to 6 so we can collect it.
12.
Yeah. And I'm just like, so, like, why? I'm like, you know, say you got a guy who can write, like, 3 or 4 2-issue arcs. It's like, slap all those into one collection. I don't care.
Back my day, see?
Yes, hey, get off my lawn. All right, you ready?
Let's do it. What's your 15?
Should I come on guns blazing now? Well, all right.
It's in a very particular order.
Oh, okay. Well,
it may shock you guys.
Now I'll start with some lesser knowns and work up to the. All right. For my number 15, I will go with the Collection Obsession from Avengers 334 through 339, which we did cover on the Quantum Zone. So yeah, yes, if you want issue by issue deconstruction of that.
Blow.
Check out the Quantum Zone. Yes, you can. The playlist is on our YouTube channel. But yeah, it's basically these alien invaders come to Earth, and of course the Avengers have to fight them. But then it turns out they're basically made up of the crap of the crap of the universe. Yeah, they think they're these noble warriors, but yeah, they're just like. But yeah, me, Will, and Matt did not enjoy this. Young, he's older than me. Yeah, Mr. Ray seemed to enjoy the issue because not only was the story total crap, but it's like they kept like shifting artists, and it's like the art seemed to like take a nosedive several times just because they would bring in like different artists and stuff. 6 issues, and I forget how many artists we had. I swear to God, we had probably at least 3 artists on it. Like 3 pencilers, so it's like, well, it's one of those summer specials where it's like, every 2 weeks it came out or whatever, but it's just like, not so good story, and then like the art just keeps like rising and falling, so it's just like hard to follow, takes you out of it. But yeah, you could tell it was just like, oh, time crunch, let's just throw anything at it out, throw it at the wall, see if it sticks. But yeah, not enjoyable. Again, reread it for the Quantum Zone, still not enjoyable, so. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give on a scale of 1 to 10. We'll have to give this one.
Yeah, I totally get you.
All right, Lilith, what's your next pick? Stoke the furnace of hate, Lilith.
Oh, don't you? We are gonna talk about my number 14, Holy Terror by Frank Miller. If you're not familiar, it's a 2011 graphic novel. It's about the character, the Fixer, and he's battling an Islamic terrorist. Yeah, it was supposed to be a Batman story, but DC passed on it, and he decided to make it a not creator-owned, but he went with a different company. I think it was Legendary. Yeah, that sounds. So it's about kicking Al-Qaeda's ass. Now, this is 2000. He came up with the idea in 2006. Like I said, it was for Batman. They passed on it, and it took another 5 years for another company to actually want to do it. And as you can see from the art, probably not so great. It actually ended up coming out in September 28th, 2011, so 10 years after War on Terror. Never forget, never forgive. They blew down our buildings kind of thing. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much the last time we cared about it, right? Like we just don't bring up 9/11 anymore, and I'm glad for it. I'm glad we've moved on from that point. Like,
I mean, do you really need to bring it up?
This was acceptable? Like,
yeah, I mean, and again, just in general, it's like, do you have to bring it up every year? And it's like, if people lost people...
They said never forget, Phil!
I know, but it's like, if you lost...
It's such a detriment to our society, what happened in our government, that I just... it's such a sore point. They let it happen. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. And I'll leave it at that. It's not a conspiracy. Well, it is, but it's a true conspiracy.
Oh, my.
So, yeah, it's kind of a sore point. But, yeah, like, all this propaganda, it's like, I thought we were past the Superman punch, Hitler propaganda kind of thing.
And Captain America, yeah.
Yeah, so, it just, I think it was a little like, why'd you write this, bud?
Yeah.
It's not your mother's a whore. It's your, let's kick Al-Qaeda's ass. Like, ooh.
Although I can't even, blame Miller, completely, because, I mean, I don't think Captain America in the comics has been the same, at least for a long time after 9/11.
That's true, too. Yeah, like I said, I think we just, as a society, we should have been past this point in 2011, and I don't know why it was still made. Like I said, he pitched it in 2006, and DC passed on it, because at least DC had the sense back then to not want to jump into this.
Yeah, it's like 2006 is like, let it go, kid.
I mean, it was still fresh in 2006, and we were still really... No, it was well, for the government.
Well, yeah.
Up to their tricks and things at that point, so I could see it, but 2011?
Yeah.
I like the thought that we evolved, but as I'm looking back at some of the stuff that came out in 2011, maybe not so much. And that might have been the whole, we had a black president, so that stirred up some other things too, maybe.
Wow.
I'm not here for that rant. We're here to talk about comics. But, inherently, comics are, the culmination of a creator's vision and beliefs, right? It always kind of colors it. So this is a little eye-opening for Frank Miller, is all I'm going to say. He's a little more complex than just your mother's a whore, apparently. He's got a couple of other deep-seated issues here.
Yeah, I think. Wait, I wonder who he voted for. Anyway, all right, you ready for my next pick?
Yes.
All right, Lilith. I went with a John Byrne pick.
What?
I'm not complaining about the art. The story, on the other hand, might be a little cringeworthy. I believe this is the second. Is this the second part of a two-parter, or was this? But it's been a while since I read this. But here, let me bring the cover up. I'm sure Lilith Hellfire will know exactly what I'm talking about when she sees the cover. It's from like the late 80s. There we go.
The late 90s.
Yeah, yeah. All right, that one. When Big Barda and Superman get
yes.
mind controlled into making porn. Yes, kids, that is the plot.
Superman and Big Barda make a porno. That's a play on Zacky movie.
And that is not like the first time there's several.
He's got a fetish, okay? We all know.
Well, not even John Byrne, but like the industry in general. I think especially at DC, like I can think of at least one or two other occasions where you get like the main character and then embraced with a woman, and then somebody in the background saying, main character and my wife. I mean, they did it with Wally West. I swear there's been at least one or two other ones, and I can't remember where. But it seems like there's some kind of weird fetish with some of these comic book writers where it's just like,
oh yeah, John Byrne has a few, but I'll allow it because he's such a phenomenal artist.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there was literally a page of She-Hulk just like jumping rope.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look how high she
girls in motion.
Look how high she can jump. And again, with like the art, it's like it almost looks like she's naked, but then when she stops, she's like in a bikini or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No kink shaming, but eyebrow raised.
But yeah, that's like the weirdest fetish where it's just like, I don't know. To me,
they want to be cockholds. They're cocks. I tell you, cocks.
Whoa! I guess so, because I'm just like, wow. I'm just, it's just basically
like I said, somebody has a very particular fetish.
Our main character is a homewrecker. But I mean, I get you want to,
Well, that 2006 Superman Returns, Superman's a deadbeat dad.
Oh, true. But
that pissed me off to no end.
But again, I mean, I guess that was the whole thing with after Crisis. Well, especially when they brought in John Byrne to like shake up the Superman stuff. It's basically like, these aren't kiddie books anymore. These aren't kiddie books anymore.
I do what I want.
Oh my god! One of my first comics was I remember reading Superman: The Man of Steel. What was it, number 4? When they go on Lex's yacht and like Lois just starts stripping out of that dress. I'm like, whoa, wait. I was like, I forget how old I was. I might have been like, what was that, 86? Yeah, I was like 8 years old. I was like, whoa, what? I'm like, tell me more.
He's like, sold. You got a new fan. Let's see. I am at Lucky 13. Okay. We are at my Lucky 13, Batman The Dark Knight Strikes Again. I think enough said, but,
well,
this is 2002. It's the follow-up to the 1986 miniseries. And it's about Bruce, who comes from 3 years in hiding, and he's training his followers. There's this rebellion against Lex Luthor's dictatorship rule. And then there's Catgirl.
Yeah.
Plastic Man and Green Arrow. Now, I was like, I like the characters he picked, but I don't like what he did with them.
Oh, yeah. Lilith, you hear this? That's the sound of me scratching that off my list.
Nice! And also, he kind of ruins the question in Martian Manhunter in the process, too. Thank God this wasn't continuity.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, was it this one or the third one? But it's like, I mean...
It's the third one. We just absolutely ripped to shreds.
Well, I was going to say, Dick, he basically just craps all over Dick Grayson.
No, it's this one.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just like... You don't have a fundamental understanding of Batman. Should never write it again. And they gave him another one. And then there's still a fourth one out there floating in the damn ether if they ever make up. If you know, you know.
Well, it's the Frank Miller. It's the Frank Miller lens. Remember? The good guy always punches the bad guy and breaks him or kills him, and women are whores.
So you remember when it was Batman v Superman, right? Dawn of Justice, and you see the bat suit in the trailer, and you go, that's fucking Frank Miller's bat suit. This is not going to be good. I knew from that moment Zack Snyder did not deserve to have any run. Well, I mean, I saw Sucker Punch, and I saw freaking the other movie he did with the superheroes. That told me everything I needed to know. But as soon as I saw that, I said, oh no.
I mean,
no, this is bad. This is really bad.
I mean,
anybody that's gonna not, because that means you fundamentally do not get Batman if Frank Miller is your favorite Batman.
Oh yeah, the minute I saw that Batsuit, I'm just like, it's like the kid in school who like cheats off somebody, but it's like meanwhile he's cheating off the kid who's getting a C.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, like that. That's what that suit represents to me, and it just makes me so angry.
Yes.
Like, I like the first story well enough, right? Even though, he's got that thing about Superman. I'll let it slide because it's a Batman story. And, like, honestly, through Batman's lens and particular stories, you can see why he does not trust Superman. Like, I wouldn't trust him either. I'm just a regular basic human. I'm not Wonder Woman or a Green Lantern. I have no power but to shoot a kryptonite bullet. I get it, but they take it to the extreme on that. To the point where it's almost xenophobia, you know what I mean?
And again, it's like... Even if you like,
so angry.
It's like
Frank Miller's Batman is so angry,
and it's like even if you like his Batman, it's like he basically builds Batman up at the sake of every other DC character.
And it's like, babes, he's human. At the end of the day, Batman is human. What are you doing? He stands no chance realistically. He literally has so much plot armor, right? I think that's what that's about.
But just like the story too, it's basically like, you build Batman up by making everyone else look like idiots. And it's like, what's the point of that?
And that actually is the foundation of modern day Batman, honestly, if you look around at the DC universe at this point.
Oh yeah, that's a big component of Bat God.
Everybody that's not a Bat family member are idiots. Wonder Woman and Superman included, right? Because he lets his kid go off into space with his dad, who's a terrible person. He knows he's a terrible person. To do God knows what for God knows how long.
What
happened?
Yeah, and again, is that just like, it almost seems like a trope where it's just like, oh yeah, well, Batman has no superpowers, so we have to like give him, he has to be he always has to be this.
When I was a kid, it was admirable. It's like he worked his ass off to become the peak level human that he is. He works hard, but they make it seem effortless now. And, like, it's so much plot armor around him. Like, he never gets shot. He never gets stabbed. He never makes a mistake. Now, that's not interesting anymore. Batman used to make mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible consequences. Gotham Falls. Things like that,
Or he physically gets injured.
He runs away,
Yeah.
And now it's just, he's Bat God. He makes no mistakes, and he can do no wrong. Except for he's a terrible dad to all of his children, including his allegedly biological.
Of course. I know.
But anyway, yeah, I just, this Dark Knight Strikes Again, just man.
Yeah.
He's like, that's the sound of me crossing that off my list. What else can I put in its place? What number was that for you, by the way?
I just
have a number?
I basically have a list, but yeah, it was somewhere in the middle there. So, all right. Well, since you mentioned it and talking about Batman running away and stuff, I'm gonna put and he's one of my new favorite targets. Yes, I'm gonna put the miniseries Batman: The Widening Gyre on there.
Let me cross that off my list. It was number 9 for me.
Nice. Because it's basically like, Silver Sing.
Well, not to mention that it was late. And it was supposed to be 2 parts and it never freaking got finished.
And it ends, it ends on a cliffhanger and, yeah. Yeah. Because, yes, kids, if you haven't read it, it's a Kevin Smith Batman. Well, he wrote Cacophony, which, that was a miniseries, so it was almost basically like a trilogy, but yeah, he never gets to the third one, of course, because it's Kevin Smith. But no, in this one, Silver St. Cloud returns, and they basically they're falling back in love, and, he spends all day stooping her on a tropical island and, spending nights as Batman, so he's not sleeping.
Yeah.
And this is the one where, Kevin Smith writes in it. It's like, oh yeah, I peed myself during year 1, Batman year 1. So
it's just never going to be a good fit for a Batman writer. I just never
really.
His crude humor just doesn't fit with,
Exactly. Yeah.
Batman.
No. And again, and then you end on a massive cliffhanger. this horrific moment, which I don't know if we probably don't want to spoil it, but it's just like
spoil it. Nobody deserves that pain. Spoil it.
At the end, I mean, it seems like through this series he's training a new hero, but then it turns out to be onomatopoeia, so because Kevin Smith's getting his shekel. But yeah, of course, Batman, being truly in character, invites this guy back to the Batcave. Tells him, "Oh yeah, I got engaged to Silver St. Cloud." Well, a character falls in love, gets engaged in a Kevin Smith comic book. What's going to happen to this female? In true Frank Miller fashion, yes. Yeah. Onomatopoeia slits her throat right in front of him in graphic detail, and that's the end of this series. Oh my god, it's so funny with that we brought this up because I think was it yesterday. It's like I met like 3 of the 4 comic book men at Steel City Con. I think the memory said it was like 6 years ago or something. It was something like that. It was like 6 years ago maybe. And like I asked Walt Flanagan, who was his artist on it. I'm like, back 6 years ago. I'm like, is this still coming out? And he was like, oh yeah, it's coming. I'm like, yeah, okay. And it was a few years after the fact that 6 years ago. I mean, it's been what, over 10 years since that thing. Yep. Yeah. So, and everyone, and I think Kevin Smith's even said it's like they'll let him do it. Again, we've had so many New 52s and everything since then. They're like, yeah, that's like a dead continuity. So he could pretty much do whatever he wants with that. Yeah. But no, snoochy.
That's funny.
Damn it! I must wait. Even if I have to stay up all night tonight, I gotta make time to write that damn blog. This is
we got time. He's not going anywhere. We got time.
I was gonna say that this is gonna be on that. If I ever get to write that blog, this is one of my pieces of evidence.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Am I at
12? Let's see.
Yeah, Dark Knight Strikes Again.
Next, I did 3, so you probably did 3 before this. So.
Okay, perfect. So my number 12 is going to be surprising that it's so low that it doesn't make the top 10. One More Day, a.k.a. Amazing Spider-Man 544, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man 24, Sensational Spider-Man Volume 2, 41, and Amazing Spider-Man 545.
Lilith. Crossing it off the list.
It had to be there. I know it's super low, right? But it's like, it's so many worse stories than. I mean, The Consequence sucks and it's terrible, and we're kind of stuck with it until somebody actually has the balls to fix it. But I've been egregiously offended way more than this. It's like, I can get it. Like, Ant-Man has been struck by a bullet, by Kingpin, and he's like, Mephisto's there twisting his little words, and Mary Jane's been kind of a bitch this whole time, so why not? I get it where we're at in the story, right?
Yeah.
And why it happens. Like, Pete makes dumb decisions. Now, this is the dumbest, worst decision he's ever made.
Well,
it's 2007.
Well, again, yes, it's riding on the back of Civil War, where Peter revealed his whole life.
Revealed his. Like I said, everything's built up to this point. You totally get where he's coming from, but the whole point that they never actually fucking fix it is what is egregious, right? Like, you figure this is just a gimmick, this is just a gag. They're gonna go back to being married next arc, next issue, next volume. Nope. But like I said, I totally get how this happened, why it happened, but the fact that they haven't fixed it is crazy.
December 2007, and yes, we still haven't fixed it.
I was when I read this.
Me too. It's just like when Kennedy, I'm sure with older people, when Kennedy was shot. Yes, I remember
when the towers came down. When One More Day happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Michael J. Straczynski. It's not the last time he's going to be on this list, kid.
Ooh. Although,
actually, I think that the next one is actually his too.
Although I don't know if it's all completely his fault, because I think a lot of it was editorial mandate, especially retcon, fixing that marriage supposedly.
Yeah. So we're gonna blame Joe Quesada.
Yes.
I'll blame Joe Quesada
because I think he's the one who wanted that. Yeah.
He wrote it with Michael J. Krasinski. So.
Oh yeah.
And he also didn't he do the pencils on all the stories and stuff?
Yeah,
at least in 545, I think.
At least some of them.
The inks too.
Yeah.
And so it was probably a joke.
And unbelievable as it is, it could always been worse, because I believe there were. I mean, I believe there were talks that are like, because they're like, they kind of brought Harry back at the, in the aftermath.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to get to that now.
Okay. But but there were talks of like bringing Gwen back too. And I think they were like, no, don't touch that. No, you don't touch, you want to mess with that marriage. That's one thing, but no, you don't touch that story.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Hold on. I'll show you my favorite cover though. I forgot.
But yeah, a story's always the greatest, quote unquote, when it's like, we're just going to wipe continuity.
I'm gonna tell you what though, the mid 2000s, I love the covers that Marvel were doing.
Oh yeah.
Simplistic, but they were bold and they stood out. This was a great cover.
Oh yeah.
It gives me that I'll be Spider-Man no more forever vibes without the trash can, honestly.
Exactly, yeah.
The art was great, but like I said, the fact that they never fixed the story, to this day, it blows my mind. I think it's the number one thing Spider-Man fans complain about, right?
Yeah, I mean, they got married in '87. They've been certain people behind the scenes have been trying to throw that marriage out for since the '90s, and it's just like they don't want them to be divorced.
I don't know why though.
They don't want them to be divorced because they think that ages them. They think being married ages them. But I'm like, people get married at 18. I'm like, how did that age somebody?
I mean, hell, some people sell their kids and let them get married at 16, but that's none of my business.
Exactly, but I'm just saying, legally people get married at 18. It's just like, how does that age somebody? It's like,
it's because they're old fuddy-duddies.
Well, again, too, at the age of in modern comics, again, we've talked about this.
He's like what? He's in his prime, right? So he should kind of be married unless
yeah,
he swings a certain way.
But it's just like a supporting cast have taken a beating, like as we talked about in modern comics, and I don't know why.
For him to have so many books and so few side characters.
Well, it doesn't help either, where it's like we're bringing in a new writer every year.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Even they can get through the year sometimes.
Because a lot of people can keep the momentum going because it's like, maybe maybe you're going to do. Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but again, unless you're Spider-Man,
there's no happy medium, honestly.
Unless you're Spider-Man or Batman, it's just like, yeah. And if you do a year or less, it's like you really can't get momentum going, especially with supporting characters. But then it's like, yeah, even if you do get like a Kindred, it's basically like, we need big events. Which I mean, because again, I think they've lost track of doing it for the story or the art, and it's just like, oh yeah, come on, I need something I can sell. Come on, big event.
Back to you, buddy.
All right, so yeah, I can take one more day off my list. All right, I will talk about those of you who read Iron Man in around 2013, you may have read Iron Man 9 through 17, The Secret Origin of Tony Stark, where we do this whole thing with aliens and we reveal that Howard and Maria Stark are not Tony's biological parents.
Somewhere, some way, Charlie just woke up out of his drunken stupor.
And that's not even the thing. It's like, that's even before the Bendis thing, where it's just like, where he makes them nobody's great, basically. But no, like even this point, they're just like, who's Tony Stark's parents? I don't know. But so, I mean, it takes them years to even answer. Well, then who's his real parents? And I mean, I see it mentioned sometimes, like in the Avengers book, but I'm like, I think a lot of writers just kind of ignore it. But it's just like, I don't know what that adds to the mythos, because I don't know if anyone's really done anything interesting with it. Or it's like, okay, they're not his parents, then so what? Then what's the next thing? I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just it seems like one of those things where they did it for shock value, but it's like it really added nothing to the story. And again, all right, let me see if I can open this one, because I had trouble opening the last one. But yeah, if you saw like the first cover, that I think it's like the cover for the trade and stuff too. It's it's Iron Man as a baby on the cover. Yeah, that one.
A fresh start, my ass.
Yeah, exactly. Well, don't they say that every time a new arc starts now? Every time they bring in a new...
It basically is. We get new writers, new artists. Everybody totally reinvents the wheel, whether we want them to or not.
Whether they like it or not. Because I told you, me and Will talked to Jeremy Adams. He's like, I didn't want to leave the Flash book. They're making me leave the Flash book.
That's sad.
Well, at least they... At least, I mean, it's not like they like took him off everything. They did give him the Green Lantern book, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's like, I love Wally West and his family, and I would have stayed long,
Yeah. It's almost a mandate now. It's like nobody can. Like, I guess they don't like want what happened like back in the day. Like if somebody sat on a book for like 5, because they get that power and that book becomes synonymous with them, and then they have more leverage and negotiation power, and they can force them to pay them more, right?
Yeah.
If you're constantly revolving it doesn't matter. You have no loyalty. You can't build loyalty. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is.
Well,
at least in DC.
1, 2, they always just want to come out with a new number 1, and they want to justify doing it.
DC's not like that. It's really not.
Yeah, true.
They kind of pride themselves. Like, we got Superman and Batman, to this number, and we got Wonder Woman 80 years. I mean, that's kind of their point of pride. That's why they're very hesitant to like call it a reboot, call it a refresh, call it whatever.
I mean, in certain respects, yeah, like with the Flash and Wonder Woman, they're getting the 800 and then rebooting, but it's like, except for Action Comics, name me the last time Superman got over like 30 issues.
Well, that's because they keep picking the wrong damn people to write the book. That's what it is. They're now in Superman's defense, it's because they want to kind of like scrub, like, oh well, this person fucked up. Let's refresh. Let's get them off. Let's find somebody else. Like they're trying to find the magic formula. I feel like once they find that magic formula of somebody that actually can bridge the past and the future of Superman in the present, they can find that person that knows and loves Superman and gets his history and what the fans want to see. They'll never let that person go. That person, mark my words, will write Superman for the next. That's what they're looking. A person that they can, because they want to fix the foundation of Superman. They just don't know how to do it at this point.
Again, I think,
and I don't even know who I would want to write Superman at this point. I don't think there's a single person that I read right now. Maybe there's a newbie out there that is just chomping at the bit that just can't get in the door at this point because it's so prohibitive at this point because it's all about who you know and who you blow, especially at DC, to get in the door. It's unfortunate because I don't think there's a single person. Like I love all my writers for different reasons, but I don't see a single person that I'm reading right now, maybe outside of Mark Waid, that I would want to write Superman. And I don't think they want him to write like present continuity Superman, if that makes sense to you. You know what I'm saying?
I guess, yeah.
They kind of got those guys, the AKA the dinosaurs, kind of, doing the 90s rehash kick, right? So,
yeah.
I don't know who I would want. Who would you want to write Superman?
I don't know, but
like, there's nobody I can think of. Like, if it was like the 90s, that would be like a million names, right? But now it's just like I don't even know who I would trust with Superman. After what happened with Bendis, I am just so shocked and appalled and apprehensive about anybody that touches Superman. I mean, even the John Kent book, like the Super Sons book and stuff like that was doing so great at the time. Everything's just kind of down the drain at this point.
And again, it's just like, I mean, I think the brand got hurt by the Snyderverse and stuff. And
duh. Well, it got hurt by Superman Returns. Like, no shade to Brandon Routh, but like I said, Superman's a deadbeat dad, really? I mean, true, we were going off the old, and that was the whole thing everybody was kind of confused about, that we were still technically going off that old Donner continuity, which made no sense. It's like, it's 2006, we shouldn't be using stuff from the 80s and like 70s. We should upgrade it, but not by making Superman a deadbeat dad, right? Like that, like I get it. We shouldn't be having what is that Kramer versus Kramer? Like, we should not be having that in our Superman movie. That's what truly hurt, that they couldn't connect the Roth movies with the Bale movies, right? Like they wanted to, and they've been spinning ever since.
Oh yeah,
that is actually the key core problem of why Superman in cinema sucks right now. But that's another rant for another day. Let me move over to my number 11. Sorry to get us off topic here.
That's all right.
I have thoughts. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna be a pro at sharing the screen.
But when you're like, if you know, all I heard was hello.
You sure you don't want to do the voice? Wait, yeah, Spiderman. All right, my number 11.
Oh, I forgot about this. It would have been made by
another J. Michael Straczynski production. Amazing Spider-Man 509 through 514. Gwen Mysterious Mistake comes back to haunt Spider-Man in a big way. But the whole kicker of it is, this storyline was retconned in Spider-Man Volume 5, number 73, as Harry Osborn's cruel plan to torture his father and best friend. Fuck you.
Whoa! Why did you want this to stay in continuity?
And like I said, you can make one more day stay continuity, but this you want to retcon?
Well, I guess I think Nick Spencer wanted to retcon it all, but they were like, no, you can't touch the marriage. We'll retcon this though. Well, again, one, it starts creepily because it's like, it's Gwen Stacy's kids show up, but it's like, so either she willingly slept with Norman Osborn or he raped her, so it's...
Either way, not a good look.
No.
It's like, be bold, be brave, like, living your truth. Steer into the skid, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's willing to do that anymore. And that makes me worried.
Yes, and I believe they subtly hinted that it's like not only that, but it's like Norman basically was like the only man she was with. So, because Peter was like, it's not possible it's my kids because we never.
First of all, Peter's a liar. He's like, Mary Jane, he's like, Michael Jackson, the kid ain't mine. Billie Jean's a liar. The kid ain't mine.
Well, no, because it was like a weird thing too. Because I think they were gonna like they didn't come out and say it, but they wanted to play with like oh, she looks just like Gwen. I'm kind of attracted to her, so it couldn't be his kid. So yeah,
that's a kink too far.
Because there was like a cover. There's like a cover later on where they're like just like kissing on the cover. It's like, ugh.
I mean, Luke and Leia were grabbing each other on the cover, and they were twins. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you look just like your mother.
I mean, you were born with that headband, weren't you? Yeah.
I know that. I know how. I told you that headband's genetic because again, the daughter looks exactly like her down to the headband.
It's a fashion statement.
I'm surprised she wasn't wearing a green raincoat. Jesus.
Nice.
Yeah, that thing was all kinds of messed up.
So messed up.
Because of goblin formula. Yes, they prematurely aged, so that's why they were kind of like adults when they met Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yada,
yada. We mentioned the bisque.
I mean, you talk about Peter's radioactive web fluid. What about Norman's?
Yeah. I mean, his just normal. I mean, just look at his normal sperm. Look how messed up Harry and Normie are.
I know. Then
it's just his genetics in general.
And that was before goblin formula. Jeez.
Exactly. Allegedly.
Well, Harry, yeah, I mean, supposedly. So, I mean, a lot of these bad storylines, it's like, what's the theme? It's like, oh, sex is bad, okay.
Yeah, basically. I can't stand for that, so.
All right, so, ready for mine?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, this one is, I don't want to say classic, but, I mean, this thing... No.
I don't want to get out of control over here.
I mean, it's an older one, but it makes people's lists of like one of the worst of all time because of what happens. So it's universally Avengers number 200.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the story on this one?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. Well, a few issues previous to this, like Carol Danvers mysteriously gets pregnant. Like, she's basically with no man, but all of a sudden she's like pregnant. So she gives birth to this child who like starts aging rapidly, and then he like basically, oh hey, my name's Marcus, and now what was it? It's like he's like supposedly like the son of Kang or something weird like this. But it's like,
oh, it's like that Star Trek episode.
Kinda, but then it's weird because it's like she starts falling in love with him, and yeah, and then at the end, let's like, I forget who this is, but it's like eventually it's. I mean, they were like clearing the roster, we're gonna like, but it's like at the end she leaves with this Marcus. Like, oh, we're gonna go live in like a limbo dimension or whatever, and
who is she? Hal Jordan?
Yeah, but then later on, like that Avengers Annual, that's like Rogue's first appearance.
Yeah.
I mean, even Claire, was that Claremont? It's like. Even he was just like, no, we're not doing this. And, basically, she gets thrown back to Earth and, Jessica Drew finds her and they're just, she's like, oh yeah, I was with Marcus for a while. And then he like crumbled to dust, because he kept rapidly aging. But she like calls out the Avengers. She's like, he like subtly mentally manipulated me, right? She's like, why would I run off with someone I just met, especially someone I just gave birth with, She's like, I mean, Claremont had her call him out later. She's like, you didn't think nothing was fishy about this? You just let me go off with this stranger?
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, this thing makes the list of, oh man, there's a couple writers on this. James Shooter. Oh, I see you, Jim Shooter. Jim Shooter, George Perez, Bob Layton, and David Michelinie. Yeah.
Not Michelinie! They drug poor Michelinie in
But it's just like, again, they were like coming up to a big roster change. So I'm assuming they were looking for something big for 200. I guess they were trying to get Carol Danvers off the team. But it's like, how about quitting?
Yeah. What about that? Well, I mean, Carol Danvers has always rubbed certain people the wrong way, I guess.
Hell,
not this Carol Danvers. I love this version of Carol Danvers.
Yes, exactly.
When she puts pants on, I just really don't like it.
And again, it's not the most enlightened trope, but it's like, if you want her to leave for love, just have her meet some guy and fall in.
Guy.
Yes, exactly. Or you want to do the kid.
Give him the old Wonder Woman treatment. A guy that's training her, you know.
Something, yeah. But yeah. Like I said, this issue is like panned everywhere. I mean, just look up Avengers 200, Lilith. You'll just find like articles and all kinds of stuff about how horrible this issue is. And yeah, this one was a slam dunk because everyone. I don't think there's anyone who's like, oh, this is. I've never seen anyone say this is a good story.
Everybody's afraid to defend it. They have a kink and they don't want to admit it.
Because I remember, like, years ago, I found this in a back issue bin, and I was, pretty cheap too. But I was just like, let me read this. Let me see, if the the hate is justified for this. Yeah, the hate is justified for this, and it's sad because it's George Perez art. So I mean,
oh, that's the word.
Yeah, I mean the art is good. This is. I think maybe his first run as artist or one of the first runs. So, yeah, I mean, it looks good, but yeah, the story's utter crap. That's the worst. I don't know. I think that's even a bigger crime.
A double-sized issue dedicated to that? That's insane.
And basically, time is running amok because, Marcus is, Yeah, that thing will give you nightmares. I think that like I was going to say, that's the bigger crime. It's like if you have a horrible story and horrible art, that's one thing. But if you do like a horrible story with like good art, it's like I think that's a bigger crime.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like, here, kids, you want some candy? Step into my van.
In this white windowless panel van.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I don't want a van because I live in New York City.
Mark your bingo cards, kids.
All right, we are in the top 10 now, baby. What do you think this is gonna be? What side of the aisle will this be?
Probably
something's not even on your radar, to be quite honest.
Oh my! So it's Marvel. It's a Marvel or DC.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a 50-50 shot. All right, I'm gonna go with DC.
Oh, you're right. Ooh. Let's see.
It's not on my radar. Okay, so she's not going Bendis yet, kids.
Oh, never go full Bendis first thing into it. My number 10, Justice League: The Rise of Arsenal.
I kind of remember this. Yeah.
Okay, it's 4 issues. It's a limited series. Roy Harper wakes up after a coma. It's after Cry for Justice. And he's like trying to make sense of it, but you can't make sense of it because it's stupid. And
his daughter's dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's James Robinson. I don't think he ever got work again.
Oh.
He might have. I made a very strong effort. No, this is JT Kroll actually. JT Kroll, I don't think ever worked for DC again.
It wasn't this like in the same era when like Oliver Queen's living in a forest that like magically sprouts up. Yeah.
Yes. It's trippy as hell. Somebody was doing some ayahuasca and cocaine and PCP. They were doing all of the drugs and all of the time.
Oh my.
Yeah, I can't, I like Roy Harper. He has such great character development. I mean, outside, like for sidekicks, outside of say, Donna Troyer or Dick Grayson. But he just, this is how they treat him. He's literally the redheaded stepchild.
Oh yeah,
he's the Jason Todd of the Green Arrow universe. It's like, he loses arm, he loses everything.
Well, yeah, after they did that drug story, on Hard Traveling Heroes, basically it's just they've been palling on.
I don't blame him for the revenge that he took on Oliver at all. And I love Oliver. Oliver is not the best person. But yeah, so this is just like so tragic and nonsensical that they did this to him, and they still don't really have a place for Arsenal after all this time too, which is like what stings the most, I think, for me. Yeah. So.
I mean,
that's on my list.
They could have done so many great things with Roy Harper. I mean, he's from that same era of Dick Grayson.
I love Outlaws. You know?
I know.
No, yeah, that they did before they did Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Yeah.
That storyline they were doing with him.
I mean,
With Jason Todd.
yeah, but there's so much you can do with him. I mean, he's from that same generation as Dick Grayson, Wally West, Donna Troy. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think he's the one who's got out of that era who got screwed over the most.
Yep. Actually, Donna Troy, I think, because people forget she exists now.
Oh, well, especially after New 52. Yeah, they really screwed her over.
I would love to see a triumph over that character, but I feel like I think they prefer the blonde Wonder Woman. Which one? The Wonder Girl.
Cassie.
Yeah, there's so many Cassies.
Mm-hmm.
Because like she looks so much like Wonder Woman. That's like, what's the point? So, let's have a blonde.
Yeah.
Blondes have more fun. Allegedly.
And again, after all the continuity changes, it's like, wasn't Donna her sister at one point? But it's like, oh no, it's just an orphan there she found, and yeah, that never helps.
What a mess. The Titans really have the sidekicks of that generation. If they're not Dick Grayson, they kind of have fallen. Like Starfire doesn't even have a role. She used to. She had several that were really good.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Cyborg, forget about it. They put him in the Justice League, and he's fallen off as a character ever since.
Well, he's kind of back in the Titans now.
We'll see how long.
Yeah, I know. We'll again, Tom Taylor's going to be writing the new Titans series, and yeah, that Cyborg is back with them. So
that's good for now.
Yeah.
I hope they keep him there because he never belonged. He has no connection.
He never belonged as a founding member. I'm like, if you wanted to work up to that and have him join later on, fine. But
kind of like Young Justice. Funny how that works, ain't it?
Exactly. But I'm just like, yeah, no. From day one, he's in the no. I'm like, you just threw out all his friendship.
They just needed his mother box and boom tube. If you know what I mean.
But it's like you just threw out all his friendships with the Titans, and you know
what? Yeah, so much character development gone, so much history.
And it's like you wanted a person of color in there. Fine. How
we have a Black Green Lantern.
That's what I was gonna say.
Bumblebee.
That's what I was gonna say. I wouldn't have minded if they would have.
Vixen makes the most sense.
There was the top two names on my list there: Jon Stewart and Vixen. Yes, I'm just like
hell vibe. I don't care.
I mean, yeah, you could have said
Justice League Detroit. I don't give a.
You could have said Jon Stewart instead of Howard Jordan was the founding Green Lantern,
but of course, you know.
Yeah. But no, it was New 52, and again, wasn't that being drawn by Jim Lee? Vixen, another
That's what I'm saying.
Another female when they're getting drawn by Jim Lee. Come on.
They dropped the ball so hard.
Oh, there was the planning on that was just horrendous.
What's your number 10?
All right. Well, I will pick a specific moment from it, but the whole event from 1988 we called Action Comics Weekly, a mess.
Philip, I cannot co-sign that. I'm sorry.
I mean, there were some good from it, but it's like
far and few between. I totally get what you're saying.
Even one of the editors, Mark Waid, said it was a nightmare, just like trying to get all this. But I am referring mostly to the Green Lantern side of Action Comics Weekly.
Okay, perfect.
And again, kids, they were doing
no arguments here.
They were doing Action Comics every week in the 1988 for the 50th anniversary of Action Comics. And of course, you know, Superman was in it. They did anthologies every week. It was Superman, Green Lantern for the most part. Then they did Black Canary for a while. There was a Nightwing arc or two in there with Roy Harper, the Blackhawks. Again, a bunch of short stories. But the Green Lantern side suffered so bad. I mean, there was a story where Hal Jordan was locked in a yellow safe.
Where he should have stayed.
He met Oprah. He was on her show. There was a rogue Green Lantern, Malvolio, who switched rings with him and was going to spring this trap with this other ring, which we're still waiting on that, kids. But the biggest injustice that they still haven't fixed, which hopefully maybe soon they'll fix, but just from the first issue, Action Comics Weekly 601, and just the horrible way they did it, the death of Kat Matui. Basically just gets
fridged.
Yes, literally she's in the kitchen. She gets killed in the kitchen, so yes, she literally gets fridged.
At least she's not barefoot and pregnant.
Yeah, but I mean, she's basically there cooking dinner or something. Yeah.
Why is there?
What?
Wow. Okay. Like, what's up with her? Oh.
Who? Kat?
Yeah.
I guess it's just casual. But no, Star Sapphire just shows up and basically, yeah, I want to get revenge on Green Lantern. Oh, hey, you don't have a ring now. Because we...
What are you doing here?
Because just like with Roy Harper, I mean, we always got to pile the crap on Jon Stewart, too.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you know. It's like, oh, we killed your wife. Oh, hey, you're Guardian. Oh, wait, no, you're not. I mean, Jeffrey Thorne was kind of working with that, but then he's off the book. So now, in that new Green Lantern book that's coming out, Philip Kennedy Johnson's doing a Jon Stewart backup. Meanwhile, Jon Stewart was supposed to have his own book.
Well, after that movie, no, we like well-written things with Jon Stewart.
Oh, the animated, yeah.
That was interesting.
Well, I think they said. I think Jeremy Adams might have been saying, yeah, that Jon Stewart backup may lead to a miniseries, maybe.
Still afraid to give the black man his own title, I see. That's brutal. It's 2023. It's time to step it up.
That too, but I think they're kind of afraid of the Green Lantern franchise in general because it's like even Hal Jordan's not getting his own book. I mean, him and Jon Stewart are sharing the book. Yeah. We haven't had
I don't even care about that. I say Chip, Gnort, and Kilowog need their own book.
There you go.
I am so freaking tired of the humanoid freaking Green Lanterns. I want something else.
Well, it's been a year since we've had like a Green Lantern book. Like an ongoing Green...
together. What is so hard about that? Hell, I'll settle for Jessica at this point.
Well, that's what me and Will were saying. We're like, how about we, you just do an anthology book, do an arc on one Lantern, then jump to another Green. The next arc, you do it different.
I'm tired of Earth and I'm tired of humans. Get me the hell out of here. I mean, it's such a great cosmic opportunity that they keep freaking blowing. I don't understand. Like, we don't have like an X-Men in DC where we're just automatically gonna be in space for 2 years. You know what I mean?
I know.
Take the opportunity. I want to get off of Earth and I don't want to go to Darkseid's planet anymore. Take a hit.
Oh, don't even mention that. Yeah, that's a Will. Will does not like when you mix the New Gods with Green Lanterns.
Yeah, it's bad. I totally understand. Guess this brings me to my number 9. This really should be higher, but like I said, I feel like when I was going through the list, I was actually going through like the actual comics that I own. I hate this. It was Visceral Reactions. So this kind of came early in the pile. So Justice League Cry for Justice by James Robinson. Who the hell makes a 7? First of all, 7 issue limited series? 7. You couldn't do it in 6. You needed 1 extra.
I know, that's always
That's
weird.
the first mistake he made.
Mm-hmm.
But also, this is where he ruins the Justice League. They literally torture people, and not to mention, they fail against Prometheus. He blows up the entire city, and there's dead children on panel.
The 2000s, Lilith, I mean, they loved...
2007 to be specific.
In the 2000s, they loved their body counts. How does Civil War start? A town gets blown up in Connecticut. I mean,
And the cover wasn't even that great. None of them were. Look at this.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Just pisses me off. Like, they were straight losers. This whole team were losers. Like, how do you make the Justice League losers? I don't understand. This was crazy. The fact that they let this actually be published is insane.
And it was wasn't that the weird shakeup period where it's like, yeah, the Justice League's kind of in flux too, because it's like Superman's off doing his thing, Batman's off doing his thing, yeah. Wonder Woman's off doing her thing.
And
so.
There's no tea, no shade. The editors of Note, Eddie Berganza and Adam Schlagman, like, who are they? They're not iconic names. And you never will be with this crap.
Oh my.
This story pisses me off so bad. It's just awful from beginning to end, and they just keep making, like, it's literally the case of, well, that escalated quickly.
Well, yeah.
And terribly and horribly. And this is why the world needs a Batman. Amanda Waller was right.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, is that why they lost to Prometheus? Because Batman wasn't there?
Basically. And Congarilla, really? Not even Congarilla? Ugh.
Well, again, that's the problem when you switch writers too often. It's like, because on a team book, on a team book, it's like kind of like, when you switch writers so often, it's like the lineup keeps shifting because it's like, everyone's at least going to bring in one of their favorites, no matter how weird it is.
Yeah, I don't think he's he's gotten work at DC since 2012. Vindicated.
Oh my.
He did some of the Earth 2 stuff, but the Earth 2 stuff for New 52 was
not. All right. Ready for my next pick?
Yes, I am.
All right. I've waited long enough. I think I'm going to go there now. Hail. Here we go. All right, kids. What year was this? I forget. But again, in my opinion, the worst Moon Knight run ever. Mr. Brian Michael Bendis's, which, unlike any other version of the character, he replaced the personalities in Moon Knight's head with Spider-Man, Captain America, and Wolverine. With no explanation. It's just like, oh yeah, I have 3 new personalities. F those old ones.
Yay.
No explanation. And it's like, even people, people who know DID are just like, no, it doesn't work that way. But again, it's like just like his new Avengers run. Bendis is like, well, how am I going to sell books? I know, let's put Spider-Man and Wolverine in it.
Yeah, if you have to rely on, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and then just he has Mark Spector and Echo kind of like flirting with each other. Echo. I see what you did. I see what you did there. Well, it's Bendis. Because Bendis demanded it.
That's an interesting artistic choice.
Well, aren't all of his choices interesting? So yeah, again, it's just, I know, nice guy that he is, Ray tries to defend this, but I'm just like, really? I'm like, this is unlike any other series of Moon Knight that I know of, and it's just like, and not in a good way. Yeah, and then the big villain is Count Nefaria.
Wow, that's not good.
And we're trafficking in like Ultron heads.
Maybe he was on his ayahuasca. I don't.
Bendis.
Everybody loves cocaine.
Smoked a doobie.
Everyone loves cocaine.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't know, this episode, Bendis, you may be getting the Everyone Loves Cocaine award.
Everyone loves cocaine.
Ooh. I actually didn't have any Bendis on the list. I specifically went out of my way to not have any Bendis on my list.
Shocking.
You know what? Frank Miller out of the way. I got Max Straczynski out of the way.
That's surprising because I was like, at first I was thinking, should I put Bendis Superman on here? I'm like, nah, Lilith probably has that covered.
As like, for what it, like, okay. So, like, I didn't put it on the list because, A, I thought you were going to put it on the list. But, B, I did that whole literal, like, hour and some change, like, 15-minute rant about Bendis, right? And what he did to DC. Everybody knows how I feel. I don't need to rehash that. I don't need to get upset and angry again.
Yes, our Unlimited Justice episode. Yes. So,
like I said, I've released the hate. I'm over it.
That's so funny.
Still bad.
But neither of us put it on the list because we thought the other one was going to do it.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Wait. I gotta find a good cover. I can't find a good good cover. Okay.
I know what I can replace. One of the ones you took. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. That's right, kids. Comics so good we need visual aids.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you can know what not to. Perfect. Here I am. My number 8 is Spiderman Black Cat, The Evil That Men Do, Kevin.
The sound of me crossing something off my list.
I love that for us. There we go.
Oh, it's funny.
Okay, if you don't know, it's a 6-issue comedy, limited series. It's actually something that he got out. I wouldn't say necessarily on time. It was in August 2002, and it last ended in March 2006.
I was going to say, I knew it took at least 2 or 3 years to get that out. I remember that.
Yeah, I was like, he completed it. It wasn't really on time. Oh, but the quote that pissed me off, right? Hold on, where is it? It's the one where he says Bendis is putting out good books. He has no excuse for his lateness or something.
Oh!
I was like, here it is. He says, while I have zero defense for my lateness, particularly when folks like Bendis turn out great stories in multiple books on a monthly basis, I will say this much. It's a better story now than it would have been had I completed it back in
Oh.
That's what caught my eye, and I was like, oh, yeah.
This
story's so weird, right?
Yeah, because it's kind of like, it's like Spider-Man's like, oh, I shouldn't be attracted to my ex, and then it's just like the whole...
Your mother's a whore! It gives me very much Frank Miller Lite vibes the whole time.
Well, again, Kevin Smith learned at the feet of the master because, again, spoilers, kids, Black Cat gets raped.
Yeah. It's like, what's new, Pussycat? Let me just do the names. Or Ruse by any other name. Hate crimes. This book is definitely a hate crime against Black Cat. I will give you that. A study in Scarlet. Scarlet Letter. Your mother's a whore. Trickle Down. I won't go there. And 1 and 4. And that's where she's raped by her boyfriend.
Yeah. And doesn't the villain rape her too?
Yes.
So, yeah. So basically...
And she tries to contact Nightcrawler. I'm like, don't you go bring a Nightcrawler into this.
Yeah, that seemed very random to me. But it's like, yeah, so it's like not only does Kevin Smith introduce rape into her past, he has her raped in the present. Yeah. Again, this blog needs to happen.
And also Scorpia. Like, just enough. And Clum. Like, really? Clum?
Oh, the villain that Charlie Esser thought was going to be behind the whole Kindred thing.
Yeah, also they tried to pull Daredevil into it. I'm just like, look, enough's enough, Kevin Smith! Stop it!
Look, I know my comics.
It's just one terrible story to the next, and I can't believe it took 4 fucking years to get done.
Wow!
I can't believe Marvel actually tolerated that. That isn't.
Again, I think at that point
it's just terrible.
They were trying to.
Who let him do this?
I think they were trying. I think they were trying to make sales off his name.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What's the editor? Can't find the editor.
Well, you know what it was too. I think like he was like.
Oh, but he had a female artist, so it's okay.
Well, and two, I think like
How awkward is that? You write a rape scene and you like several, and you have a female freaking artist. That is awkward.
I know.
That is antisocial behavior if I've ever seen it.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, as a man, I can't imagine sending notes to like if say we're doing a comic, I'm like, hey, Lilith, can you have him hold her down more? And just. Yeah,
just make sure you really show the thumbs gripping down into the larynx.
And make it a sexy rape scene too. Let's see some.
I would have lost it, bro.
Let's see some cleavage. Yeah, yeah.
Some people are way better than I am as a person. I would have totally lost it.
I guess if you're desperate and you want to make it in the business, I guess. But once again, the art was good, but the story.
Yeah, the art was great. It was just like, oh, what a shame.
Yeah, that pisses me off more than bad story and bad art. I'm just like.
Like, oh, you went and drug poor Rachel and Terry Dodson into this.
All right, you ready for my next pick?
Yes.
All right, kids. Once again, if we speak of the 90s, one of the biggest bombs of the 90s, and no, it's not that one yet, Lilith. Yes, there was a big Avengers event like right before Onslaught. Justin and I are covering it right now on Marvel Tales. Avengers: The Crossing. Yeah, pretty much we make Iron Man a murderer and again, I don't know, like me and Justin have been talking, I don't know if they changed plans behind the scenes. At first it seems like Iron Man's being manipulated, but then by the end it's just like, oh yeah, I'm working with Kang, I'm working with Evil Mantis, and it's just like, this thing gets retconned like later on where, Kurt Busiek's just like, during Avengers Forever, he's just like, oh yeah, all the villains were space phantoms. Yeah, no, this wasn't Kang. This wasn't Mantis. Yeah. But yes, they did put out an Avengers: The Crossing special. This one you see right here was like a shiny cover thing. So, but just look at that 90s art. Look at that Thor. What the hell is up with that? Hawkeye. Yeah, that's all pure 90s. But yeah, no, we basically, Iron Man murders at least 3 or 4 people in this thing. This is when War Machine had alien armor. Force Works. Yes, this was this era. Yeah. And again, this thing crossed between Avengers, Iron Man, War Machine, Force Works. I mean, not only was it a crap story, but it went through like 24, 25 issues, including like 2 or 3 one-shots. Yeah, I mean, yeah, again, the story's so good, it's pretty much been retconned off the face of the earth, so.
I love when that happens.
And again, like we mentioned before, I was waiting for one more day to get the retcon thing, and it never happened.
Like I said, that's the most egregious thing to me. I kept waiting.
I know.
We're waiting.
Oh my god, I don't know if it's like a blog or a podcast, but I was looking for that image, Lilith, and I found somebody did a review of it, and you know what their name was?
What?
I don't know if they just review 90s stuff, but it was, I see, the Pouch Fouls.
Big pouches, big guns.
I'm just like,
Welcome to 90s comics nostalgia.
oh my god, that's almost as good as my Electric Mullet name. I'm like, a Pouch Fouls. Let's see what we can pull out of here. Let's see what we can pull out of here. So yeah, shout out to the Pouch Fouls, whoever you are.
Let's collab. You sound like our kind of people.
You like poo-pooing on 90s stuff?
Boy, do we have the perfect collaboration team for you.
Email me.
That's at Salty and Petty 69.
That's right.
I think we should use our professional Capes and Lunatics.
Yes, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com. I mean, it all comes to me anyway, so yeah, just...
I know.
All right. What's your next pick, Lil?
What am I at? Number 7?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm at number 7. Number 7 is Nemesis from Icon Comics. I thought it was Epic, which is, I think Icon is still an imprint, or was an imprint of Marvel, I'm pretty sure.
What, Epic? Yeah.
But it's Mark Miller.
Oh,
wait, Millar, excuse me.
Millar. Is it Millar or Miller? I've heard both.
It's Millar, I think. I think he likes to be fancy.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Miller, but it was spelled different. Okay, I don't know.
Okay, so the whole premise of this, and then to mind you, this is a Marvel imprint. What if Batman was the Joker? This is the guy that did Kick-Ass, by the way, if you don't know.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's his whole premise. And I'm like, I think you meant Moon Knight by the suit. But he was, DC kind of sent him a letter to say, hey, you need to, this outfit was different.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, so they asked him to change it.
Oh.
Tone it down. But does this not look like the Joker Who Laughs a little bit?
Kinda, yeah.
The Joker Who Laughs vibes? Right?
I remember seeing it. I never read it, but yeah, I remember seeing that all over the place in comic shops and stuff.
Yeah, this is from like 2010. I think it got put into the works around like 2008. And they're like, what if Batman was a total cunt? I'm like, he is a total cunt. But...
Whoa! Okay, Ray.
He is! Yeah. And I guess he's like, he's supposed to be like a supervillain, but we're supposed to be rooting him for some reason. I mean, I like a lot of his other stuff, so I gave this a chance, and it's just terrible from top to bottom.
I'm sorry,
It's so rude and crude, and like for the sake of just being crude and rude with no real purpose.
Oh, so beaver jokes, okay.
Not even.
Oh.
He makes Jimmy and Amanda look like fucking poets.
Wow.
In this book. It's crazy. It's bad. It's bad, and he should feel bad.
I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I'm just I'm just waiting for Ray's message. Can I get that Batman is a cunt drop, please?
Drop some money in the Cash App, fool.
I'll give you the ringtones. I'll give you whatever you want, Ray. Just we need the money.
Yeah, that was my number 7.
All right.
This won't be the last you hear from Mark Millar.
All right, well, I figured I had to replace at least one thing because you took some of my picks. So, of course, I mentioned Avengers: The Crossing, and we know the biggest turd to fall out of the Crossing's ass. That's right, kids. Teen Iron Man.
I knew it was going to be. I knew it.
It really originally wasn't, but no, it's just I'm like The Crossing. I'm like, I need something. Teen Iron Man. Yes, kids. Even I really can't defend this.
Iron Lad.
Yeah, so during The Crossing, like I said, Iron Man goes evil. So basically, how can we beat Tony Stark? I know. Let's go back in time and bring forward a teenage Tony Stark, who afterwards, yes, he's the Iron Man. Spoilers, Iron Man dies at the end of The Crossing. So teen Iron Man's around and basically going to college and going to keggers and basically just, but his secret identity is Tony Stark. Oh, no, I'm not that Tony Stark. I just have the same name. Then he flies into Heroes Reborn. And when Iron Man comes out, he's like, I remember being all those Iron Men, but I'm starting to lose the memory of it. He's like, I was the original Tony Stark. I was the teen Tony Stark. I was Heroes Reborn Tony Stark, but I'm losing all those memories. So, yeah. Before we had Teen Cable or any of them, yes, we had Teen Iron Man. The whole 90s was on cocaine,
Oh, I don't doubt it.
It seems like it.
I don't doubt it at all.
I'm like, I know. What's a billionaire Playboy character? I know. Let's throw all that out and make him a teenager.
Teen-ager.
Exactly.
Okay, I told you Mark Millar wasn't gonna be. I was gonna be on the list again, and here he is.
Oh boy.
Trouble by Mark Millar.
Aunt May's a whole. I forgot.
Oh, you know this. Okay, so Trouble is a 5-issue romance comic book limited series from 2003. It's part of the Epic Comics imprint, and this was considered by Marvel's editorial group as the origin of Ultimate Marvel Spider-Man. This was also meant to repopularize romance comics. Like, they had a it's Patsy comic, romance style comic to go with this, and they were really going to push hard for it because back in the day they did kind of have a very good roster of romance novels, if you don't know. But yeah, May Riley and Mary Fitzpatrick are best friends, and Ben Parker, Richard's older brother. Yeah, and Richie Parker. Yeah.
Richard Parker, I heard he's a bit of a dick.
Me too. So it's crazy, right? Yeah. This is the origin.
Basic.
I was just like, oh my god, this is so bad.
Basically, yeah, the secret origin of Aunt May's really Peter's mother.
Cover. Like, I can't take it seriously.
I was gonna say, I'm ready to flip that thing over and see,
Yeah, that would have been actually awesome if they would have done that on the back to have the back shot, but weren't they? I mean, Epic was a place where anything kind of went. Honestly, you could ask our good friend D.G. Chichester. He made his bones in the editorial department.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I made my bones on Epic too. Like, I have a lot of Epic comics in mind, but this one just.
Yeah.
But like, this is the crazy thing, because you know who did the art on this book? Like, and I really love these people, right? Terry and Rachel Dodson.
Oh yeah.
They drag poor Terry and Rachel into this teen pregnancy. But so the basic concept was, of course, created by Joe Quesada. Somebody's got to go check on Joe Quesada. Seriously, I'm starting to wonder about this kid.
Well, yeah, they gave him full control back then. It's just
yeah, he made some. Oh, you thought Dan DiDio made some eyebrow raising choices?
Oh yeah.
I think Joe Quesada made a few more.
Oh, the marriage is my big thing with Quesada, but yeah.
Yeah, but if you start looking, you'll find it. He's done some eyebrow raising.
But no, I was going to say, that cover looks like porn.
Well, softcore porn, definitely.
Well, yeah, yeah.
No, it looks like Girls Gone Wild cover.
Oh, yes.
Softcore porn, like I said.
Yes.
Do you remember when Girls Gone Wild was a thing? Like, how, innocent that is compared to the stuff that's out now?
Oh yeah, basically it's just girls.
Shout out to Kim Kardashian. Many don't know she is actually really good friends with the founder, who is an actual douchebag.
Right? Well, yeah, I've heard that.
Human sewer.
Oh, we'd have to do an episode on the whole Girls Gone Wild thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, when Lil says innocent, yeah, I mean it was basically just girls flashing boobs in public, right?
It's like just Mardi Gras on film.
Basically. Yeah, basically, yeah.
And all they got was a T-shirt. That was crazy.
Hey kids, you want a shot at just girls flashing?
All that money he made, and all the girls only got T-shirts. That is fucking crazy.
I flashed my titties, and all I got was this T-shirt. T-shirt.
Basically.
All right, you ready for my next pick?
Yes, I am.
All right, so, I mean, you mentioned One More Day, but I'm gonna get specific here. I'm gonna go with the first issue of Brand New Day. Again, it starts with Peter kissing a girl. It's like, oh, see, he's not married anymore. And then it's ends with him getting his web shooters and costumes stolen or something.
As he should.
It's like, really, we're doing this again for the 50th time? I'm sorry, the 69th time.
There you go.
But no, again, the story is horrible. I hate Brand New Day, but it's but this one really pisses me off because I'm like, that's a good cover, but it's the story sucks ass.
That's how it goes.
I know, but yeah, again, that's my biggest thing is when they put an excellent story, or an excellent cover on a shitty story.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my problem. And again, of course, because of the marriage,
Definitely.
What
kissing a girl.
Because
liked it.
And Carly Cooper's coming up. All right, enough of that. Lilith, what's your next pick?
Give me 1 sec. It is a Wonder Woman story, shockingly.
Ooh.
And it's not a modern Wonder Woman story either.
Ooh.
This probably is going to surprise you.
Why? Because they think you'd like it, or just?
I don't think it's as offensive to most people as it is to me.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, top 5. We've cracked the top 5, and it's a Wonder Woman story. Wonder Woman, Amazon's Attack. A 6-issue limited comic book series from 2007 written by Will Pfeiffer. And now, this isn't to be confused with the one miniseries that was supposed to be for Infinite Crisis, because that never came through, but there are, like, scripts and stuff floating around. It's completely different. But this is basically, you know, for Infinite Crisis, the Amazons return to attack DC. Do you know this one?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And it's just like a whole mess, and it's like the White House, and they went and drugged poor Black Lightning into it.
Yeah. Because wasn't
Justice League and the military get into it, and
because wasn't Jefferson Pierce in the Lex's presidential cabinet?
Yeah, and so they're like they're attacking Kansas of all places, and California, and then like Wonder Girl's mother's like held in an internment camp, and Supergirl shows up for some reason. She's blocking Air Force One. It's just absolutely batshit crazy, ridiculous, and not in a good.
So besides all that, do you find it offensive because the Amazons are like the villains, basically?
Yes, they did. Amazons did nothing wrong. The U.S. did something per usual.
I was going to say, what else is there?
Habeas corpus!
Wow!
That's all I'm saying. And the art's not really that great. No shade to Pete Woods. This is not very good Wonder Woman.
Again, around that era, a lot of stuff was a hit or miss. Like art.
2007 for sure. Just really not a good time for comic book art. It wasn't. But yeah, it's just like you made they were, in my personal opinion, they did nothing wrong. It was all the U.S.'s aggression, because let's be real, it's always U.S. aggression. They take it too far. So it's just like a whole thing. And then the story is just so winding, and he just goes out of his way to use the most like useless characters. You know, it's just why? Yeah,
a lot of that Infinite Crisis stuff. It's just like we're doing this.
Yeah, Infinite Crisis was what a waste of butter, honestly.
Followed up by Not So Final Crisis.
I like Final Crisis more.
Yeah,
I like Blackest Night, that kind of stuff.
But again, use the name Final Crisis, and it's not the last one. I mean,
semifinals.
Oh my lord!
Dear DC, hire me. I will fix it.
But even that,
I don't like how I fix it, but I'll fix it.
But even then, I knew I'm like, it's not going to be the last one.
I thought Infinite Crisis. I was like, oh, okay, Infinite.
I thought
Infinite Earths get made. No.
Final Crisis. I'm like, maybe we'll take.
Final Crisis. I knew that was when I knew we're never gonna fix this.
I'm like, maybe we'll take a break on Crisis for a while, but
nope, wrong again, Phil.
All right, my next pick. I don't have a lot to say, but it's like I don't think I have to say a lot. Yes, we're back to one of our favorites, kids. Oh wait, hold on. It'd help if I opened it. Hell. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I have to. I mean, Lilith will probably do most of the work for me. Yeah, we're back to Frank Miller and Dark Knight 3, The Master Race. I'm like, just from the title alone, it's offensive.
Listen, it's like literally, with the exception of maybe Klaus Jan, like everybody I freaking hate one place.
Oh my.
Brian Azzarello can suck a dick.
Wow!
I can't remember the last good thing.
Frank Miller, Brian Azzarello, Andy Kubert. I don't know the rest. After Claus, I don't know the rest of them.
Jansen, Brad Anderson, Alex Sinclair. Like I said, everybody except for Klaus Jansen, their whole family can suck.
Yeah. And again, the Master Race is basically Kryptonians.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like...
I mean, listen, I know Jarrell's a dick, okay? I know. We get it. If you watch Krypton, you know. You understand. If you watch Smallville, you know. You understand.
But this
is blown way out of proportion.
But then it's Frank Miller, too, so it's like... Or is he
he hates it with a passion.
Well, it's Frank Miller, too, so is he saying, oh, yeah, all immigrants are evil?
Of course. It's like, baby, do you really feel that way? Or are you just trying to make money? I'm never too sure. With Frank Miller. All I for sure know is he thinks your mother's a whore. That cannot be disputed. Everything else, I don't know if he does it for money. But
even the title, The Master Race, and like even as a white guy, I was like offended with at that title. I'm just like, really? And I'm like, I don't want to.
He could have actually implemented Lex Luthor's hate a little bit more. Like that was his time to shine. Where was he?
Oh yeah. I mean,
it was such an odd choice. It's like you're talking about this, and literally, that's Lex Luthor's whole thing.
I mean, he literally could have did meta commentary and have Lex, be all racist and saying your mother's a whore and stuff, but he didn't.
Yeah, it was so. I mean, this is the one I was waiting on, and I was just like, oh, this is what he decided to do. And everybody co-signed his craziness. Like I said, everybody except for Klaus Janson.
Well, again, once again, I think they were trying to they're making money off Frank Miller's name, and it's like, oh, hey, look, it's another sequel to Dark Knight Returns from 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's a mess.
The thing
they're going for another one though. Like that's I don't know how their relationship is now, especially.
Oh yeah,
but the fourth one was commissioned. I don't know if it's ever going to come to fruition.
But it's always just milking the cow too long because it's like the thing that worked about Dark Knight Returns.
Pisses everybody off now.
I know, but the one thing that worked about it is it was a self-contained thing. It's like, oh, here's this glimpse of this possible future.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they just made it continuity. I would not be surprised if just one day we woke up and this is the continuity we're living in. Sorry,
don't put that in the ether, but I'm sure they're trying to figure that out.
Honestly, depending on how that contract is written, especially now that they're kind of like at ends, they're not on good terms. They could do it if they wanted to.
God,
if they really wanted to make a thing, if they really feel like that could make a buck, then they just set the continuity, the whole DC continuity into that.
And then you get the Batman Beyond Future where they talk about, I remember decades ago during the Mutant Wars and
yep, and then that also, but it can also facilitate Catwoman Lonely City future at the same time too. So I mean,
well, at least that was good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. But like they could just kind of like take all those elements and just plunge DC into the darkness like they've been wanting to this whole time.
True.
I mean, if that's what they want to do, if they have a better idea than trying to pretend to be happy all the fucking time, because they suck at it.
Whoa!
They absolutely suck at trying to like make a happy future at this point. They go for it. Plunge us into darkness. I don't give a shit anymore.
Hey-oh.
Anything's got to be better than 5G, man. Anything's got to be better than that.
The whole family can suck it. The whole family can suck it.
DC, they're grasping at straws at this point. So.
I know.
I'm just saying, if they have a better idea, just do it. Just do it. Because whatever you're doing right now is not working. It feels like, something's going against the grain here. And just everything's disconnected and discombobulated. So I feel like that's what they want to do, but they can't do it. It's something going on where they want to do something, but somebody told them they couldn't do it. And so they're making everything suck and making all the fans.
Exactly.
Anyway. On a, I guess, happier note, my number 4 is Superman at Earth's End.
Oh.
Yeah, by Tom Beechik. I liked Commandy, right? But then, Commandy at Jack Kirby's original 72.
Yeah.
And then they go and do Commandy at Earth's End, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was okay. But really, now you're just going to make a sequel and put Superman's name on it? I mean... And thank God it's just a one-shot, But I'm like, didn't Justice League, the animated show, do a better job of this one? Is it just me? Everything is so terrible about this. I'm not a fan of the art. I'm not a fan of the story. It's, what are you doing? It's like Hitler's in it. When you got Hitler in, what year was that written? In 95? What are you doing? You had to start with Hitler in 1995. You are a hack. Why did they let you do this with Superman? Go spit on a glass bottle, okay?
Wow!
This is one of the worst Superman stories I've ever read in my life.
Wow! Since you read Electric Superman, kids.
Listen, it's the power set of Electric Superman, right? And the reason for Electric Superman. And some of the stories are pretty cool. It's just the concept and the reason behind it that I just, it's a cash grab.
Oh, yeah.
And it really, really... And I love how people were electively able to not use Electric Superman. Looking at you, Justice League. It was that bad that people were like, no, we're not going to use it. Or let me know when he's back to normal.
No, my.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It was that bad that they were like, no, you're not going to be in the Justice League with that terrible power set. Get the fuck out of here.
Whoa.
To the detriment of the Justice League. But,
I know. All right.
Did I show the picture?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is awful work.
Let me show you something. Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Who is he? Fucking Santa Claus? On steroids?
Oh. And a big 90s big gun, yep.
In a pouch, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that art.
He looks like an X-Man. What is that?
I remember seeing that art and thinking, nah, it's okay. I don't need to read that.
Yeah, you don't. Nobody does. I should sue for freaking mental damage. for emotional damage compensation for it. I want it.
Hey, I have enough evidence. Yeah, she is mentally damaged, kids.
Hey!
Hey! Shh! Shh! Do you want money? Shh!
I said I resemble that. It's all rape and murder, I'll tell you that.
All right. So how many do you have left? Because I only have like 2 left.
I have 3.
Okay. So do you want me to go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. You knew I was going here, kids. So yes, my penultimate, take a drink, future Lilith, choice is, of course, 1990. Is that 1996, 97? Heroes Reborn.
Okay, I can cross that up. That was my number 1.
Okay, and yes, take a look at that big titty Rob Liefeld Captain America, kids. Yeah.
Why does he look like that?
Because it's Rob Liefeld. Tiny feet, big titties.
Fetish.
Yeah. You got that Fantastic Four and Iron Man.
This wasn't your number 1. That's interesting.
No. Oh, yeah, no. I put some thought into this. Yeah, no. Okay. I find more number 1 more despicable than this. Yes, kids.
Wow.
Trying to get the sales up on the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, Captain America. Yes, we shunted these characters into another dimension where yes, the Image people got a hold of them, and yeah. I mean, the Liefeld thing didn't even last the full year that this whole event was. I think Liefeld was off by like issue 6. So, yeah. I mean, at least you got like some Jim Lee, like Fantastic Four and Iron Man art, which you can see on the left there. Which I don't even think that's the best example of it. That I remember seeing even better shots. But
oh yeah, but yeah, this story was winding and unnecessary
and
convoluted.
And the Avengers book was even worse because it's like by the end we had like 2 Thors running around, and
I was definitely getting out of hand if you had.
And the weirdest thing is like we separated Hulk from Banner for this, so Hulk stayed in the regular Marvel universe. Banner comes to Heroes Reborn, gets hit by gamma rays, and becomes another Hulk.
Yeah, I remember.
Poor Peter David, man. They're just like, no, we're gonna, you can keep the Hulk book, but you're not gonna have Banner. You're just gonna have Hulk.
I mean,
he made it work. I mean, yeah.
He made the most of it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no. I mean, he wrote a pretty petty Hulk, which I loved, but
Yeah, it was a little inspiring. I think he was petty because they were being petty with him. Honestly, it was a response. I think it's a lot of when you go back and read it, when you know what's going on. I definitely think there's a lot of book for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So. Yeah, it's awful, and I can't wait to get drunk and tear it apart.
Yes,
issue by issue.
Oh, really?
Or were we just gonna?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you want to spend the time and do 4 13-issue series?
Summer.
Oh my! That might have to be a couple episodes.
Yeah, we could do it for the summer. That could be our summer event.
Is that gonna be?
Anybody who wants to get in on it, feel free.
Is that gonna be Patreon or is that gonna be Salty and Petty?
Oh, that's gonna be Patreon.
The F-bomb's gonna be dropping.
Oh yeah. We can just like, yeah, we can go off on Patreon. We can give them like a little sample in other places, like you can do it on Marvel Tales and Spiderman. Like, hey, don't forget to listen to the Patreon this week where we're still tearing Heroes Reborn apart.
Oh yeah.
Sample.
I was gonna say, Justin, do you want to touch this? But if I say Drunken Lilith Hellfire is gonna be there on Patreon, I don't know.
Send in your hate back.
The Summer of Hate.
Oh yes, do it. Make it so, sir.
All right. So should that be our Patreon episodes for May, June, July, August?
Yeah.
Okay.
Summer of Hate. Get on board.
Oh, nice. Each month, kids, will cover a different series out of Heroes Reborn. So
done. Okay, my number 2, Teen Titans: The Calling, Scotland.
Oh my!
Okay, if you're not familiar, this is the 2012 crossover story arc that relaunched the New 52. Teen Titans, Legion Lost,
yes,
and Superboy.
Yes, I remember.
Like, what the fuck was? Oh, the villainous organization Nowhere? Really? And the Ravagers?
Really? Guardians of the Galaxy might want to have a word with you.
Seriously, like, it is just terrible from top to bottom. Not to mention that this is like where the New 52 like stems from. It's just all bad all around. Art's terrible, story's terrible. Nothing salvageable.
Oh, I mean, if you guys listen to my when me and DG Chichester talked to Fabian, he was doing that Legion for New 52, and he wanted out by like second, third issue, and they're just like his poor editor was just like,
look at it.
Oh, that's super.
Look at it.
Oh, that Superboy pissed me off.
So bad.
Red Robin's
bad.
No great shakes either. I'm like, we had a good costume. What the F are you doing?
Look at it. It's awful. It's bad, and they should feel bad.
And that's supposed to be Impulse Kids.
Yeah, this. What the fuck is this?
Wonder Girl. Yeah.
It just makes me want to vomit every time I thought it. I can't even look at it for too long.
Yeah, I read that Teen Titans. I read that Superboy book too.
I read all of it.
Like, this ain't.
It just never got better. It kept getting progressively worse and worse, all leading to the Ravagers.
It kept getting worse, kids. The New 52.
I mean, well, if it wasn't Green Arrow, for sure, or Aquaman, it definitely just kept getting worse.
No, but on a brighter note, yeah, should I throw that out to our patrons? Be like, hey, if anyone wants to join us, we could do a different guest each month if they wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be like, Lilith's going to be drunk and ripping apart Heroes Report.
Yeah.
Like Godzilla in Tokyo.
Oh, yeah. Okay. My number one is another Rob Liefeld production of Youngblood.
Ew.
It's
as a 90s reader, I remember.
A high-profile super team sanctioned by the U.S. government. Shaft. He had a freaking person named Shaft.
Oh, didn't you? Hey,
a teenager that transformed into a living block of stone. Vogue, a Russian fashion model. Chapel, a government assassin. Do these characters sound familiar? They sound familiar to me.
I remember Chapel showed up in Spawn. They tried to tie that in.
Yeah, they tried. Get the hell out of
here. A rock character. Where have I heard that before?
Yeah, it's just he just stole so many concepts.
Oh yeah,
X-Men. Just everybody, like even Alan Moore was just like, because he tried to have Alan Moore relaunch or revamp Youngbloods, and that one is actually pretty good. The miniseries Judgment Day. Yeah.
I mean,
but his actual stuff that he did, and then it was like Youngblood X-Force back in '96. I remember those. And
yeah.
Like, they were still trying to make it a thing 10 years later, and it's just terrible from top to bottom. I don't enjoy it at all.
So Rob Liefeld's made our list at least twice here, kids. Yeah. But even if you know nothing about Youngblood, I mean, basically, you just look at that cover. It's like, okay, he ripped off Hawkeye, The Thing, the Punisher.
Black Widow, basically.
Pretty much. He literally has the skull on his face.
Yeah, it's bad, and he should feel that. And that's my list.
Well, my final pick, you know where I'm going, kids. This is kind of a preview for what we have coming up in May. Yes, kids. Frank Miller once again, All-Star Batman and Robin. But I figured I'd give you something pretty to look at. Jim Lee drawn Vicky Vale in bra and panties, kids, sucking on her finger.
I mean, a lot of things suck about that book, and that's one of them, but in a good way.
Hey-o. I mean, if you weren't thinking it, I was like, oh yeah, put the finger in the mouth, yeah. Oh yeah, they definitely tried to have sex sell this book. I mean.
That's all it had to offer.
The imagery, well, the violence, but I mean the imagery, and and literally Batman.
The violence, you get so bludgeoned to death by.
I know, but literally Batman and Black Canary doing it.
Yeah, Ray.
Oh please, you think he wants to see Batman doing anybody?
Black Canary.
Well, one of his favorites getting done by one of his least favorites.
It's enemies to lover kind of thing, bud.
Oh my,
Batman. My favourite character. Into the Dark Knight.
Miller May.
Oh, Miller May. Oh, yes.
I'm going to give you a clean jump right now. Your mother's a whore!
There we go. Oh, yeah. That's becoming a drop. I'm doing nothing else till I get that drop. All right.
That was marker hour 1 minute 44.
Oh, I wrote it down. That's how you know I mean business. Yeah.
Well, all right. Yeah, I can't wait for Miller May for sure. It's going to be
Miller May and the Summer of Hate, Lilith Hellfire.
Summer of Hate! I got to watch out for envelopes.
Wow. Well, I don't think anyone's going to...
Or I can't be playing ultimate frisbee golf.
Frolf, Cherry. I was going to say, I don't think anyone's going to take you to task for hating Heroes Reborn. But yeah, I'm thinking, hey, if we can make it work, one month we have Ray, one month we have Justin, we could do Russell, and those are all our patrons. But maybe for the 4th month, we'll throw it out to Noel or somebody. Or
sure. Come back, not Brian Cronin. Come back.
Ryan Roran.
Ryan Ronan.
I'm going to say, this summer, kids from CBR are going to see all these articles on Heroes Reborn.
Because it's behind a paywall.
Yeah, but I think you could still go to the Patreon and see the topic. You just can't, hear or see it. I think, yeah.
I think you can disable that.
Hey.
Unless somebody's paying $1 or more, you can disable it. I don't know. It's been a while since I've futzed around with them.
Oh, nice. Then we'll get another new patron. And it'll look
for at least 4 months.
It'll look shockingly like Brian Cronin with a handlebar mustache.
Like, Charlie, is that you?
It is I, Turner D. Cronin.
Turner D. Nobody tell Brian.
No.
Nobody tell Brian.
All right. Are we done?
Yes, we're definitely done.
All right, kids. Thank you for joining us for this.
Sorry to make you listen to all this, Philip.
That we get paid nothing for. No, I can't say that. We have 3 patrons. I mean, maybe one day we'll crack.
We love our patron elite. You should become one too.
And
we can make fun of you.
And advertisers. We would love advertisers, but it's just. Where's
that ball soap?
I was gonna say maybe one day we'll crack $10 a month. Anyway,
Dear Bang.
Whoa, yes.
Dear Arby's, actually. We didn't get
We got the meats. All right, kids. So yes, send us your thoughts. I don't know what we're doing next week, but it'll be good.
From the twisted minds of the Salty and Petty podcast, what celebrity can get it next?
Or if you have a suggestion for a topic up for discussion, email us saltyandpetty69@gmail.com. Or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Or leave us feedback on our previous episodes. This one, the Super Mario one, any of them. So yes, and remember, find everything Capes and Lunatics, episodes, merch, social media at tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. It's in the show notes. Lilith Hellfire. If people wanted to know more about the Summer of Hate, where can they find you?
If you want to join me on my Summer of Hate on social media, you can only find me in one place, at least until they pry it out of my cold dead hands. That's on TikTok. At Lilith Hellfire69. Please don't forget to hit that follow button because my content are fans and friends only, not general internet consumption.
Only fans.
Either do the 6 or do the only 9. Friends. Only for fans. Oh, let me check. Let me do the check. Onlyforfans.com. Try to donkey punch me now, bitch. Some sick bastard bought it. Nope, still available.
Oh my!
I really should get on that, but I think it's funnier just to do the check every time. I'm gonna be devastated the day we check it and somebody's already bought it.
Oh, come on, Lilith. Remember, don't buy that, you internet.
The whole family can suck it.
Maybe next week I can get around to it.
The whole family can suck it.
All right, kids.
I agree.
All right, kids. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, come back next time for something. I don't know what, but
Hello.
Trust me, Lilith will be crazy. But you have so much to look forward to. Miller May, Summer of Hate.
Father issues, June.
Hero.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Your mother's a horror May, then we're doing father issues for June because Father's Day.